Hey, welcome back, Carl Prusa, MMA. I'm Carl Prusa. Today I'm with special guest, current UFC Bantamweight champ, Miss Raquel Pennington. Raquel, you have had a very long career in combat sports. You've been around for a very long time. You have fought the who's is who in the division, in the game. Finally, champion has been able to sink in a little bit that you are the current women's champ.
It's finally sinking in. It took a little while. I went into that fight not feeling well, and then I was sick until around the end of February. So, I mean, just between not feeling well, um, it was hard to really honestly absorb it all. So now, I mean, kind of getting back in the gym. I just finished sparring Tecia, helping her prepare for her fight, and just kind of being in the flow, feeling like myself again. Everything is starting to sink in.
You know, you won the belt obviously against Marina Bueno Silva. Looked like that she was finding some success earlier in the fight. You made adjustments. You dominated. What do you think went right for you in that contest?
Like I said, I mean, it was crazy. During fight week, I put on a good poker face, was rolling through the motions. But I was not feeling well. And, you know, there's that cold that it's like, all right, you sweat it out, you feel better, you get the job done. Or there's that cold that it's just like your body, you need to lay down and you need to recover. And I don't know what hit me, but I needed to lay down and recover. So going into a fight with a headache already, I had a ton of pressure in my face. I felt like I had razor blades in the back of my throat. You know, it was interesting because while they were announcing us in the arena, I'm like just looking around the arena, I'm talking to my coaches, and I told my coaches, I was like, man, this is gonna hurt. Like I had no adrenaline, I was extremely flat. I did not feel well. And in that first round, I definitely felt it. I had a great camp, great preparation, like super excited for the fight. And then, yeah, I don't know, I had another mountain to climb. So when the fight started, it was crazy because we tied up and I just felt like my muscle endurance just went right down the drain. And so that's what I was battling through the first round. And then it was like, all right, I got to pick this up. Like my coaches were like, hey, I do not care what this fight looks like. You just need to get this job done. We need you for possibly 25 minutes. Just get the job done. And they were like, you know, we know she'll break if we go into deeper waters. So drag her into deeper waters. And so that turned out to be the game plan. It was just overall, it was an interesting fight. Like yeah, I was just doing what I need to get the job done and, you know, conquer the ultimate goal.
Now, was there any point during the fight where you started getting in your head, you know, maybe in the fourth or fifth round, hey, I think I've done enough. If I just hold on here, I'm going to be the women's champ?
No, I mean, I was still doing what I needed to. I was actually frustrated in the fight because there was a couple times, especially in the second round, you know, I cracked her with a right hand and I seen it in her face. But have you ever been so physically like exhausted that when you're trying to push through something, as much as you're trying to push through, like you want to do so much more and your body's just not doing it? That's pretty much how I felt. Like it was like, oh my God, like finish her, finish her. But I couldn't get my body to go. Like I was just so fatigued and not feeling well. And so that was the only thing that was like frustrating me. But you know, I knew I had to just kind of keep the pace that I was at because she was just breaking.
What was it like to be able to win that title alongside Tecia? You know, obviously you guys partners together, known each other for a long time, both current UFC fighters, but able to win the belt with her on your side. What was that feeling like?
You know, it's super exciting. We live a really cool lifestyle. This journey is just something that's extremely unique. A lot of people don't get to experience it. And then, you know, being in this sport, most people only ever dream about. Obviously, the goal is to work towards the world title, but most people don't even get that opportunity. They just dream about it. So to be there for a second time, to have my family, for it to be the first fight of me being a mom, to have my little girl, my wife, you know, my mom and everybody there with me, it meant everything. You know, that was the part that was extremely special. Going in behind the arena after the fight was said and done and taking professional photos and, you know, putting Alea on the floor with the belt. Those are just memories that can never be taken away.
And now, overall, since you have become a mother, has things changed for you? Has your mindset maybe changed a little bit since having a kid?
100%. 100%. It's just, I don't know, you know, I feel like sometimes as an athlete, and I'm going to say we in this because I've talked to so many different athletes. I've been an athlete my entire life. But, you know, we forget that fighting or whatever sport we're in, you know, it's just our passion. It doesn't define us as people. It's not who we are. It's definitely just a passion. But in those moments, because we're so passionate, we tend to like, it's everything. And so it feels like in the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, like we're losing everything. And now with being a mom, having to lay her around, like it's just a different purpose in life. I feel like I've already won in life, win, lose, draw, whatever it is. I've definitely already won, which is being a mom. I think my biggest thing that's been really cool is it brings a different calm. It brings a different confidence, brings a different strength to you. I'm her greatest teacher. And so I have to teach her how to be brave, courageous, strong, and, to have no fear and stuff. And so the, the fighting game, it could be an emotional roller coaster. And just kind of having her around, like it definitely like just threw any of those weird feelings just right out the window.
Since your loss against Holly Holm, you've been on a 6-fight win streak. Obviously, now current bantamweight champion. Was there any adjustment you made from that fight, or did anything click that has led to the success?
Yeah, so I ended up, I made some changes in my coaching staff, and I just made some changes overall within myself. I wasn't having fun. I wasn't taking the time to do some rehab and things that I needed to. I wasn't listening to my body. So I feel like I just honestly, like I matured as an athlete and as a person. I made the changes I needed to. I really slowed down. I learned that recovery is just as important as actually being in the gym and putting in that work. And then overall, like I started making things fun instead of putting that pressure on myself. And it's like, all right, I need to be in the gym. I need to do this work. If I didn't feel like doing that day, I went and mixed it up and I was still getting some sort of physical activity in, but I kept my mind fresh. And that's what's made the biggest difference for me, So just overall, like just having fun. And I tell that to everybody. It's like, hey, are you having fun? If you're not having fun, then you need to switch it up.
Throughout your career, you've been on some very big shows. I think 3 Conor McGregor shows. You were on the Conor McGregor Nate Diaz second one. This fight week, you had just Sean Strickland, Dricus Du Plessis. The weigh-ins were really interesting. The press conferences, a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, a lot of eyes on Sean, a lot of crazy things being said. What was it like being part of that environment?
I mean, it's intense. I've done some press conferences before, and that press conference was one of a kind. The Canada crowd, there was no room for anybody to talk. You couldn't even hear yourself. You couldn't hear you couldn't hear what's actually being said in the crowd. You couldn't hear the questions being asked to you. Like it was just like, it felt like chaos. There was so much going on. So needless to say, it was really intense. The crowd definitely loved Sean Strickland. And so, I mean, it was just his people out there, and it was intense. It's kind of like the Conor McGregor cards, I mean, if anybody's ever been to one of those get really intense. The crowd it's a one of a kind card. It's high intensity, high pace, just a lot of energy being put out there.
Now, following the victory, were you able to share any words with Dana White? He tell you anything?
Yeah, Dana, I think I do great at pissing him off half of the time, because ever since the Ultimate Fighter, like he's like, man, you're a badass. And he's like, his words, but he's like, let your fucking hands go. And so I seen him after the fight. And he's like, dude, you do so well at not listening to your coaches. Cause my coaches were screaming, let your hands go. And he's like, you do so well at listening to your coaches. And he kind of jumped my ass with it all, but he's like, oh, you know what? I'm sorry to rain on your parade. Like, congratulations on the world title. You're here. You fucking made it. And he's like, but let your hands go. And he's like, you're going to be so impressed with yourself. And then, he just gave me a hug and stuff and whatnot and went on from there. But, yeah, he, like I said, I think I love giving Dana a headache.
Before you winning this title, Amanda Nunes held the strap for a very long time. Obviously, she retired. You're the new champ. You kind of take it as an honor that you're the one who gets to carry the throne after who a lot of people say is the greatest female fighter ever.
It's a lot of pressure. I have the greatest haters in the world right now. I mean, it's kind of the same thing when Amanda came in after Ronda. Amanda and I have talked, and even after this fight, we sat there and talked. She came into the back afterwards, and she was just like, man, she's staring at me. I was getting my shins taped up with some ice, and I was like, do you miss it? And she's like, no. And then she was like, Rocky, I'm so proud of you. I wouldn't want anybody to follow in my shoes except you. You deserve this more than anything. And like, we had really great words, just being friends, being fighters. But we were talking about how, cause I was like, dude, like this crowd is wild. The fans in this sport, they're wild. they're a different breed, you know. They want to see people out there killing each other, just the intensity. They want to see people get knocked out. They want to see the blood and gory. A lot of people really just don't understand like exactly what it takes to be in there. And it's when Amanda, you had, or Ronda, you had this reigning champion, and then all of a sudden Amanda comes in, Holly, Misha, and then Amanda. But you know, they don't ever really talk about in between. They talk about these ones that go on these long streaks. And Amanda was like, it wasn't fun for me my first few fights. You know, she's like, I didn't understand how I was the champion, and everybody hated me. They were talking crap to me at the fights. They're booing me, and I'm literally the champion. And then, you know, she's like, I started having fun for myself, and that's when everything turned around. And it's kind of the same thing, you know, everybody's used to Amanda, the greatest female fighter of all time. She went out there and did what she needed to for herself. And now, you know, she's on to the next chapter in her life. And here I am. And everybody's going to find a reasoning to why I suck, or why I shouldn't be champion, or this, that, or another, or the division sucks, and blah, 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 blah. Like, it never ends. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm doing what I need to for me, accomplishing the goals for me. I'm changing my family's life. And most people, they don't live in our shoes for 10 seconds to even understand what it takes. And then, you know, being an athlete who's been here grinding for a very, very long time, like, still as an athlete, this is only an opportunity that many are going to only ever dream about, but work so hard to get to. So, you know, overall, I'm proud. The cool part about fighting is there's going to be another fight. I felt a certain way going into that world title. But I accomplished the ultimate goal. There's going to be another fight. Go out there and put on an exciting fight and have fun and move on, continuing achieving goals. The goalpost is constantly moving. So,
You know, after Amanda's last fight obviously announces a retirement, you know, some people a little upset, you know, dominate Irene Aldana. They're like, why is she retiring? She should still go out there. One of your rivals were a little ticked off cage side, Juliana Pena, yelling at her, wanted that third fight. How important do you think it is to be as a fighter to recognize when you are done? You know, me personally, I don't really think Amanda had anything crazy to gain, even if she thought Pena again. I mean, she's the greatest ever, and it wasn't going to make it or break it. How important is it to be able to recognize, hey, I need to stop now?
you know, I think it was just kind of that opportunity. Obviously, if you're going to go against Amanda, I think the biggest thing is Juliana wanted to try to prove a point. Even though Amanda made her look like a freaking fool in the next fight with each other. But Juliana's just one of those athletes. Like, this sport has changed so much. It became a lot of shit talking. Back in the day when I first started, you know, nobody ever talked shit to each other. It was respect for each other. You hyped yourself up, and then the fighting did the talking. There was a different level of respect from fans. And now, like, you know, it's all this entertainment. It's all this shit talking. Like, there's so much more that goes into it. But as an athlete, Tecia and I talk about it all the time when we're like, when are we going to know when enough is enough? Like, is it going to be our body telling us that? Is it going to be what we accomplish in our career? Like, you never know. But like you said, I mean, Amanda has accomplished everything. Like, what else was there for her to do? She's fought in pretty much everybody. And so, you know, there was personal things that came up for her and decisions on why she chose to retire. Whether she stays retired or not, like, that was her personal choice. I just feel like, you know, a lot of these athletes, like, they had an opportunity. They wanted to beat the greatest of all time. And then on top of that, I'm sure a lot of it comes down to a paycheck. You fight somebody with a huge name like that, you're going to get a bigger paycheck. But everybody has their own reasoning.
Is it safe to say maybe you're assuming that your first title defense could be against Juliana Pena?
That's who I have in mind. That's a fight that I've been waiting for since 2013. That's what my coaches and I are thinking. But you never know with UFC. I mean, they made the huge announcement with Kayla coming into the division. She brings a huge hype train and a huge name behind her. UFC is about business when it comes to it. So we'll see what happens in a couple weeks when UFC 300 happens. But as of right now, like, Juliana's the one that I'm thinking of.
And now, obviously, there's a little bit of bad blood between both of you guys. What would it be like for you? How would it feel to be able to go in there and, you know, settle that rivalry for good?
I'm super excited for it. Like I said, it's a fight that I've been waiting for 11 years now. I figured it would have happened right after the Ultimate Fighter or somewhere in the meantime, but somehow it hasn't happened in the last 11 years. And then, of course, she just sits there and runs her mouth and says a lot. For me personally, I think it's just a cool storyline, you know? So I think it would be a great fight for the fans who truly follow this sport, who follow the Ultimate Fighter and everything else. I think it's a win for them. But overall, I mean, that's a fight that I'm definitely looking forward to and just excited to get in there and actually have it happen, whether it was for the world title or it's just a fight. Like, I definitely want to fight Juliana.
You touched upon it briefly, but Kayla Harrison, before her announcement that she was going to debut sign with the UFC, did you ever envision potential matchup with her in the past?
I mean, was obviously in a different organization, so I didn't like think of anything as far as fighting her. If she came into the UFC, then yeah, of course. Me personally, I thought she would have signed with the UFC a lot sooner. But I mean, hey, everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. This is the way her journey played out and what she wanted at this time. And so, yeah, do I see a future matchup with her? Definitely.
You know, for so many years in your career, you were the hungry warrior looking up the rankings, looking at the champion. Now you are the one at the top looking down. Does that change your mindset? Is that just a weird feeling, just having that total flip flop?
Not at all. For me, I still see I accomplished the ultimate goal. Now I just see it as I have the biggest target on my back. Everybody wants what I went out and accomplished. So I have to step it up and take it to a different level. But overall, I mean, I love the sport. I love the challenges. I'm super passionate about what I do. I will forever remain humble with it all. I'm just grateful to be blessed with this opportunity, with the talent, and the passion for it. And I'm out here doing what I need to. I'm having fun through it all. It's kind of crazy because my family has always called me champ, and now it's like, dang, I really am the champ. And it's not just the champ of like Colorado or the champ of the United States. Like, I'm the champion of the world.
Since winning the title, do you think life has changed at all? Maybe recognized a little more, anything different?
It has gotten really busy. Like, busy. Obligations do not stop. It's really cool, but it's definitely it's a lifestyle that you definitely have to be prepared for. Things just kind of change, doors open, opportunities come. There's a lot going on and a lot that's about to come out of, the things that we've been working on and stuff. So, I mean, overall it's cool, but yeah, it's definitely gotten a lot busier.
Were you guys able to pick out a nice spot to put the championship belts in your house?
So yeah, I just got my custom case for the belt. I'm actually gonna go home and mount that today. So we're gonna mount it like right above on our fireplace in the living room, right above the TV.
All right, Rocky, last question for you. 2024, still kind of new here, only 3 months in. What are your goals for the rest of the season, rest of the year? What would you like to accomplish here?
So right now I'm doing some rehab on some things that I need to. I am now holding down the fort. Tecia's in camp. She's fighting Mother's Day weekend after a 2-year layoff and having a baby. I'm super excited for her comeback. So the baby and I are cheering her on. I'm just playing mama role, like I said, rehabbing, and then I want to get back in there and want to defend my title before the year's over. So,
That just spiraled. One last question. You mentioned Tecia fighting here in a couple months. Do you get more nervous watching her fight than you fight?
100%. I love her, I adore her, I care about her. I have all the confidence in the world. I'm super excited for her, but I don't want to see her go out there and get hurt. I feel like when I go out there and fight, like, we have control, and you can ask Tecia the same thing. It's like we have control of what we're going to do to a certain degree. So I don't know. There's a different level of confidence that comes with that. But it's just, it's just caring. I want what's best for her, and I don't want to see her get hurt, but I have all the confidence in the world for her. So it's a weird balance. Like, you get nervous, but then at the same time, like, man, I'm just excited to go out. I'm excited to watch her go out there and shine and do her thing.
Well, Rocky, I wish nothing but the best for you. Thank you so much for jumping on here and talking to me today.
Yeah, thank you. It was great talking to you.
That's Raquel Pennington. I'm Carl Frieza. Stick around.